What the hell? They ported Civ 5 natively?
Don't they know about the superior wrapping tech used for The Witcher 2?
Those monsters.
And welcome back to another Linux Gamecast Weekly, the show that covers the latest Linux gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and most importantly, whatever the hell else we come up with. This week, Steam goes mobile, but will the community grasp Gaben's new appendage with both hand organs? Distance opens up for the unwashed, if you can afford it. And Metal Slug 3 breaks the DRM chains, but you cannot has. Or can you?
And Dell releases their new Steam box, but it suffers from a pretty critical design flaw. Civilization 5 finally hits Linux, but will it stand the test of time? And OpenXCom hits 1.0. Grab your floppies and have some fun getting murdered by aliens.
Valve decided to throw some wet stinky caches at Glacier Mesa. It's good to see that they're still committed to the whole open thing. Monochroma takes control, and it's about goddamn time, too. And finally, Guards and Thieves, Zombies and Soccer Players, now in open beta.
That was P-Man, Pedro Monteros. Also, the Canadian, you know him, you love him from the Great White North. I'm Vince Stone, and together with Chatrealm Dynamic, we form a bit of a cocaine Voltron. But before we get started, let's see what's been going on in each other's lives, playing a bit of catch-up, P-Man, furniture, moving, business.
Yeah, so we've actually started looking at apartments, and we do have one that looks pretty good, and the rent's pretty cheap. It just needs some furniture. The kitchen itself is well equipped. It's just the rest of the house that kind of, needs something. So I'm on money-saving mode right now.
That's better than no money mode. Over here in Vinland, I broke down and built XFCE. What are we at now?
410?
410
Well,
something.
412 is the new alpha. But I did 410, which was stable, built it from source, put it on the Ubuntu system. I like it. It's a bit decent. Dicked around with PayPal for an entire day, but that's too long of a story to get into. J-Man, anything nice, fun, sexy?
Yes, I recently found out this week that I'm the superior flesher outer.
Huh?
Yeah, no, because Ven and I were playing that Android ported racing game, and I curb stomped him both times. So I'm the superior flesher outer. That makes me feel good.
That's brilliant. So, let's pay some bills for a moment, because some people like to, host websites. Maybe you already have a domain name. That's brilliant. You've already came up with it, but you're looking for a place to stick it. Kind of like I was doing. It's like, we're going to have hundreds of gigs of files laying around, and Schnappy was like, sup, bro? YOLO swag? I got a thing for you.
You can live chat with their sexy on-call people.
And they're not joking around that live chat. You can call them at 3 o'clock mothering morning. Somebody will pick up no matter how drunk you are and remind you that they do love you. But this business starts at $371 a month, unlimited disk space, bandwidth, one-click script installs. You get a $100 Google AdWord offer. All this 99.9% uptime guarantee. And they're going to say, how about 25% off in your face organ? But to be honest, I say at checkout, put in LinuxGameCast, FTW, that stands for Fuck the World, Not For the Win, offer code of Seizeness, and you will get a whopping $9.94 at checkout. But do we have a little public service announcement before we get all horsey?
Yeah, a lot of us are waiting for Goat Simulator to finally get ported by Oculus. He's working very hard on it. So good old Ryan C., he comes to us and says, hey, I have a fancy new resource for you, chillins, in order to see if Goat Simulator for Linux is out. And
is it out yet?
Yes.
No, apparently not.
Yes, is Goat Simulator done yet? And
No.
It looks like the answer is still no. But keep checking that website. Maybe he'll treat you with some goat porn. Who knows?
But speaking about goats, let's get how's a horse?
Goats. I think maybe some aliens have come and abducted our favorite horse. and they might not return it, so we're gonna have to mourn its loss. It's our Steam
Linux
Update
of the week. But my brain just melted. It's in seizure mode right now.
I think I had a stroke right now.
This
Is my
comes
spell
from
crooked?
The Escapist. Steam Boy aims to be the handheld Steam Machine update. SteamOS could be making its way into mobile gaming, according to a new teaser. Ooh, hello, teaser trailer, giggity. Let's check this business out and see what it says, because I've already watched it and it says nothing. A slow pan over something that looks frighteningly like a Engage.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
It looks like a PSP with bigger side things.
See, you know what'd be kind of cool is if it were like the Wii U gamepad controller, and you could have like asymmetrical game on your Steam box. That would be kind of neat.
I don't know. Are you excited for it, P-Man?
No, assuming it'll actually come out, it would be an awesome stream machine. And maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I think maybe that's a good idea, but I mean, just local streaming. Are you going to be streaming over the interwebs with all that business, J-Man?
Oh man, like what, over 4G? Hell no. Take it away. Ugh.
I don't know.
It does have a quad-core processor, so...
Yes, it's probably some quad-core ARM v7L processor. That's good. You know what? At least this kind of explains all those Android games that are showing up on Steam.
I think you're being a little optimistic about that, but you definitely... that's something that was tickling me in the back of my head ever since the Linux beta launched, and I was like, they're playing the long game. Not that I know anything that anybody else doesn't. I'm not clairvoyant.
Well, I mean, what? Debian's been ported to ARM years and years and years and years ago, so it would be a fairly trivial exercise to port everything over.
It's just another piece of the puzzle.
Even if they do release it in x86, you'll have all those indie games that are better playing with a key, a controller on a mobile device that's basically a controller with a screen.
With 10 whole seconds of battery life.
Here's something that's not so steamy.
Oh, yes. But of course, Alienware. Alienware has said, your problems have been solved. Your prayers have been answered. We are coming to you with the $500 Steam box with everything fully upgradable, except for, the video card. But, it offers comparable performance to the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4.
Wow.
That's
why are you buying this, guys?
Selling point.
I was reading this, and this just came across as, guys, we've released another small form factor gaming PC. Then P-Man and J-Man were all reading about it. And here's two things that really... Alienware Alpha will ship with Windows 8.1 pre-installed. Nope. Followed by Alpha is fully upgradable other than the graphics chip. Sir, can I please have another helping of nope?
But then, you slut, you can just buy a new system if your graphics card can't handle any of the games you want to play.
Yeah, and it's good that they called it Alpha. That way they can avoid all criticism by claiming it was in fact an alpha for their Steam machine.
I don't think Steam Early Access counts towards SteamOS hardware.
Shh, don't tell them that. They think they're shrewd little fuckers.
I don't know. I mean, they say they're selling this thing like almost at a loss, which I could believe it, but I'm not interested. This does not stimulate my nether regions. Anyone planning on throwing wet snake at this?
Well, it'd be great and all if I hadn't already built one.
That runs Linux.
And even if I wasn't money constrained at this point, nope.
So, dude, you're not getting a Dell.
Not getting the
hell no.
3D driver innovations.
Yes, Valve funds Glassy. So we've probably all heard that Valve is pretty committed to the open source and the openness of the Steam machines, and they once again prove that they are, in fact, trying the best they can to make sure the open source community is ready for SteamOS. And now they've actually thrown wet stinky caches at the Glassy Mesa driver stack, which is an improvement from regular Mesa. Their goal is to remove the frame latency issues which have plagued the AMD, ATI, and even the Intel drivers.
Well, really
Since
specifically, it's for the Intel drivers, but AMD will also receive those benefits as well.
Yep. And they say that they've already achieved a 15 to 22% performance increase, well, frame time decrease on Left 4 Dead 2. And that's good, because the least amount of time frames spent on screen, the more your graphics card has to work to provide more frames, thus giving you a higher frame count, thus giving you more performance. I'm all right with that.
No, you don't understand, though. 30 frames a second is like more than enough. Gives you this nice sense of suspense.
Well, it's that cinematic feel that you can only get from 30. I mean, honestly, the human eye could only see, 30 frames per each eye. Who would need that? 60 frames, that's
20
madness.
FPS Vengers is the best. 20 FPSs.
But, of course, in all seriousness, any improvements to AMD, open source, and Intel, any improvements to that kind of driver performance is more than welcome, because, more shit runs faster. It's great.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Oh, here's the thing.
Oh, yes. Finally, you can use Gandhi to wage a bloody holocaust and wipe out the entire world! This is Civilization 5 on Linux. This was ported by Aspire, the guys behind many Mac ports. And it actually runs pretty well. I've been running it on the Steam box, running the open source AMD drivers. And aside from the occasional issue where one of the diplomats' face will not show up, see that Ben Franklin thing is just like a black amorphous blob. Other than that, it runs pretty well. It runs really well on the NVIDIA drivers as well. But what is this? This might have been some sort of wrapper, you might say, some sort of virtual programming workaround. It's not. It's a fully native port. The guys at Aspire did a very good job with this.
Well, I think one of the developers laid down the most epic burn since Sony explained to Microsoft how to share games. Let me see. They were asking in the forums to the Aspire, and they says, is this a game of wrapper? And the developer just wrote back, real way, period. We don't use wrappers in our work.
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, I just want to bring that up. Then you posted that article from like the top games now on Linux. It's about the Witcher 2 port. It's like, well, some Linux enthusiasts aren't happy about the wrapper, but the port is flawless.
Bullshit.
That's a whole different thing for a whole other time. But you could have picked this up on sale. I think you could have picked up for under 20 quid everything.
$16.49. You could have picked it up on Tuesday when it came out for 24 hours. You could get Civ 5 and its cajillion DLCs for like $17. It was a very good deal. You probably won't see it at least for another week until the Steam summer sale comes along.
No!
You might want to hold off on that, because that complete pack will now cost you 50 wet, stinky moon caches. If you just want some Civ 5, it's going to cost you 30. So that's a thing. That's awesome. I mean, I, for one, welcome our second AAA title to Linux.
Yeah. And you know what? This is good news, because the Asper guys, I actually went through the thanks for porting this to Linux thread. And they said
port
that
BioShock to the Mac?
all things
Borderlands 2
considered, they might start porting more games to Linux.
Wait, one more thing. Everyone listening to this in the sound of my voice in your ear pussies, these guys only get a cut of this if you buy it on Linux and play it for the first week on Linux. It's a tactic, turn-based strategy game. Fuck it. I don't care.
4X game.
I bought it. I am going to let it run just so they get a cut, because how many other things are they porting? Not to Linux, but have they ported, J-Man? That are cool.
It's a pretty big list of like...
Yeah, they've ported the entire Call of Duty series to Mac.
Swag Mountain Dew on Linux, bruh! Coming up
and a bunch of
next.
other games. And someone's already got Civ 5 running on a Chromebook. That's how good their port is.
That's pretty good. And it's good that they're engaging the community, too. I think that was the biggest mistake that Eon made was that they just tried to shift the blame on other people as opposed to actually like going to the community and asking for help. But sometimes you just want to be Jeff Goldblum.
Beast of Prey. What is this business? Beast of Prey, a new survival sandbox, MMO, FPS, OMG, YOLO swag, hunter dinosaurs, craft items, build massive structures, and create your own empire. And procedurally, oh god, we didn't want to be bothered by level design.
Take a shot.
That
finish your drink.
With server population and just icing on the sauce. Early access game. That's fantastic, and also it's 34.99 wet stinky cash.
But unfortunately, you can't actually launch this game through Steam. You have to launch it through FSV because it's a Unix system. I know this.
Just looking at it, I mean, it's
Jurassic Park, the game.
No, it's a. Well, I don't know if they were going for the Unity Turok or they were trying to clone Orion Dino Horde in Unity. I mean, if it was Turok, it would be pretty good game. Orion Dino Horde was shit. Absolute fucking shit. And this looks a lot like it. So I guess there's nothing to see here.
Well, no, I'm going to give Matty a shout out because that's what went through my brain organ, and he typed before I vocalized it.
I don't know. I was just going to keep making Jurassic Park jokes.
And it does look slightly better than the original Turok that I played on my 3DFX 3D accelerator card next to my 2D accelerator card. Lawn off. Serious Sam Studios blowing some things in our face organs.
So, we love Crow Team. They've been on board with the Linuxes for quite some time. They had a Linux port of Serious Sam and Serious Sam 2 out way back when. And then when Steam started supporting Linux, they said, "Hey guys, check it out. We're going to give you the pre-release copy of Serious Sam 3 BFE. You can play it for free. Help us get it work."
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty fun. Now they're working on the Talos Principle, which is a first-person puzzle game based on the Serious Engine 4, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is their new sauce. The Serious Engine's actually been pretty good. I remember way back when in the day they actually had really good water effects for like 1999. And Serious Sam is one of my favorite games, so I'm gonna throw a wet stinky cash at them.
Indeed, Serious Sam was one of the first games I bought ported by Oculus. I bought that for, I think I even bought Serious Sam 2.
Oh, right. It's written by the guy who did FTL, so that's pretty nifty.
Indeed, and I'm excited. I mean, the Serious Sam 3, let's be honest, it took them a while. Good on them for getting it over to Linux, but it took 7 months before that thing really got playable. I mean, it was kind of herky-jerky, weird issue problems and all that, but I'm definitely picking up a copy of this new sauce. You, P-Man?
Yeah, definitely am. I'm not sure if this is Serious Mist or Uru Ages Beyond Sam. Either way, I'm a big fan of the Linux minimum requirements on their Steam page. I've got at least double that on my calculator, except for the processor. They recommend a 2.8 gigahertz processor, dual core. Mine's only got like 240, so yeah.
That's a goddamn shame.
Yes.
This is MC Escher meets the Stanley Parable meets Portal Antechamber. And it's a bit steep in terms of the price tag. This is like $20 for this game. I don't think I'd pick that up until it would go on sale. But what do they say? Antechamber is a mind-bending psychological exploration game where nothing can be taken for granted. Discover an Escher-like world where the hallways wrap around upon each other. Spaces reconfigure themselves, and accomplishing the impossible may just be the only way forward.
I get what they're trying to do with this. Now, this is something...
One thing of note, though, I need to interrupt you, Ben. They don't actually have Linux system requirements listed on their Steam page, though apparently if you buy it, it just installs and runs.
That's what I'm getting to. I don't know how I got this game, or if it was in a bundle or something billions of years ago.
Yeah, it was in a bundle.
Okay. And just one day, I sat down and it's like, hello, I have that extra game. I was like, what is it? Antechamber. Loaded it up. Has an interesting way of loading by simulating a hard frozen system. for about 2 minutes. Then it launches.
Nice.
I was like, should we start, the Vulcan nerve pinch of the kernel death? And it finally started. Played it. I get what they're going for. It's quirky. It's interesting. Don't think it's going to be quite 20 quid interesting. Maybe pick it up on sale later on, but wait till they officially launch it on Steam with that business. But I hear they've fixed some control issues, Peanut.
Yes, apparently the guys behind Monochroma are back in control. So here's the thing. When on June 12th, when they released this update, they didn't actually fix the controller per se. I mean, they did add the full controller support thing on their Steam store page, but the game didn't actually fully control with the controller. Namely, the menus, if you wanted to navigate the menus and actually go into the menu, like pause the game and go into the menu, that you couldn't do from the controller. But they have since fixed it, although admittedly, at least on my end, it's not ideal yet, because to show the menu, instead of being the start button, you have to push R1. And yeah, that's
Still
not standard
considering
behavior.
that Moon controller you have?
This is a PS2 DualShock.
Like I
the
said,
Aqua
Moon
version.
controller? Right.
It works fine with SDL2, and the reason that it doesn't leads me to believe that they're not using SDL2, just the regular Unity thing.
J-Man, I know we were waiting to review this game until it got the proper controls. Do you think we should have another go at it?
Perhaps. Maybe next week, if the goat doesn't come out.
Yeah, I'm definitely... I played it for 3 minutes. Then again, we played this game like a year and a half ago.
Oh,
yeah.
Alpha.
The demo.
And, I was like, I've already played this first level, and I have already tortured myself trying to play a platform on a keyboard. So, maybe next week we'll pick this up depending on who throws the goat, but that's good on that lot. They were great. They sent us keys for review, so we definitely need to do something with that, but bleh. All over the stage.
Okay, so I have no idea what the hell this is. Though apparently these were some games of note back in 1991, which I would have been like 2 at the time. But this is Tex Murphy. They've decided they're going to take all their point-and-click adventure FMV games and shove them on the Linux because I don't know why. I don't know if Valve is like starved for games and they're like, oh yeah, port all this shovelware. It's good. We'll sell it. But there it
Valve's
is.
like, hands off. We're going to let our store be used by you. You put whatever you want on it.
You know what? I honestly wouldn't be surprised next week. Ski free for Steam us.
Now, in all fairness, this game was even...
I want my Abominable Snowman Steam trading card, God damn it.
Right. This was a cult game. Total Biscuit they have a new version of this, a new game, which they didn't release, so fuck them. This was a cult type game. It is way back in the days when they went, ZOMG, we have, 600 gigajoules of information. Let's just video all the things.
Really,
FMV.
really low-res video.
Green
too.
Screen Fest FMV.
It's definitely a thing. You can pick it up right now. It's half off. You can get everything for $14.99. I mean, it can't have nostalgia for it because it was even before my time that I was really into this business. So, yeah, I say have a go. But I think Texas Horse is tired of the sun.
Yeah, oh look, the Alienware guys have finally brought back our horse. And I think that wraps up this segment. Coming up next, NVIDIA drivers, Mantle, and table flipping.
There may have been a horse in New Orleans they call the Steam Linux update of the week, but now it's time we get to some news. So Ven, I hear your 770s have a new driver.
It's brilliant. The biggest update ever released from NVIDIA. Not really. Totally skip this. What we're talking about is 34Z117. This came out earlier this week. The only thing in this that was like, oh, well, that's neat that they added that. But fuck all if you can use it, is they've added initial G-Sync monitor, well, support for G-Sync monitors, which, P-Man, how many of those do we have floating around in the market right now?
None?
I don't know if we have none. I think maybe they're in the pipeline. And I know NVIDIA released like the kit where you have to completely disassemble the monitor.
But there are I actually went looking. There were some Acer prototype monitors for sale, but they only made like 100 of those and they're gone. So there are about 0 models out in the market that support G-Sync right now.
What is G-Sync? I never heard of it.
It's an adaptive vertical sync that bases, let's say you don't have a powerful enough computer to run a game at 60 frames per second. So instead of your refresh rate being 60 hertz, it tones it down to 30 hertz and makes the game seem more fluid. Mm-hmm. It's adaptive refresh rate of sorts.
Planning on picking this up, J-Man?
Not really, no.
No? Well, it's Driver Central over here. More Mantle games are on the way.
Mantle.
Well, Voodoo 2, Electric Boogaloo.
So this is interesting because you may remember a couple of months back, there was an article on Phoronix claiming that there would be no Mantle for Linux. And apparently their source was a guy that worked for Asper Media, the guys that ported Civ 5, who now works for AMD. And he went on Twitter and said that, oh, it seems that there's no Mantle coming for Linux. But now, an AMD representative, what's his name? I don't know. So he says, with DirectX 12 games still over 18 months away and no alternatives in sight for Linux gamers, Mantle's future looks bright.
OpenGL doesn't work?
OpenGL just plain doesn't work. Period. On Linux.
No.
This thing. And if you're wondering what Mantle is, it's basically AMD's way of letting developers write really close to the metal, which, in theory, if you get enough people on board, sounds really awesome, but it also sounds really like a bad idea.
Yeah, because developers have to make their game around Mantle. They have to take Mantle and build our game around it. It's not even as friendly, quote-unquote, as the NVIDIA frameworks things, which developers can use in their game without having to build the entire game around it.
I just have to chime in. Empty. Phoronix might be occasionally. Phoronix is a hype machine, basically. Hype.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I've been playing Portal 2 for like the past 3 years on Linux.
Yeah.
I know, right? It was released way back when Portal 1 was. That's brilliant, but flip some tables for me, J-Man.
Okay, so this is a weird one. This is from Hexus.com. And this is from Rawcat. They've unveiled a new product for you couch PC gamers like myself. And what this is a mechanical gaming keyboard fit into like a table tray with a big-ass mouse pad and a USB port. And you use this to play PC games on your couch.
And now, apparently, fuck left-handers.
Yeah, fuck left. Well, who the fuck has left hands? Who the fuck is even left-handed? But I'm like, this screams like something that's going to end up in one of those infomercial type blunder scenarios where like you have some people who can't perform regular day-to-day tasks. But Ben brought up a really good point though. Where the hell is the Spock button on this?
Right. I mean, if it's not going to have a Spock button, at least put a Nope button on the back so my ion cannon can come down and shoot. I saw this, and I'm looking at it. We're looking at it right now. That just looks like a lot of space that can collect shit. That doorbell rings, you're not thinking about it, and you stand up, and it's Full Metal. Oops. P-Man?
Yeah, I mean, I like the concept, and they do have some USB ports on the thing itself, so you can connect a wired gerbil and turn it into a wireless gerbil with minimal latency. That sounds all well and good, but where's the version that has the keyboard instead of on the left, on the right, so I can use the mouse on the left?
I don't know. Clonky has a
And
very,
left-handed.
very good point. Where's the cup holder?
Yeah.
That too.
I don't know. Was there any pricing information on this one?
No, but this looks like
no.
something that will easily cost like $100.
I was going to say 2 minimum.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
But reluctantly crouched at the starting line.
Engines
Engines
thumping and pumping in time.
Thumping in time.
Boom! How to
Green
upgrade
light
the
flashes.
Alpha and what's next? We're talking about Distance. This was a racing game from billions of years ago, last year actually, and they released a Kickstarter. And in order to get Alpha access, when they get around to developing the game, you had to throw a serious chunk of change at them. And I think me and less than 50 other people did. So we've been playing in our little world of like, oh yeah, this is neat. And they're going to let the riffraff in, kind of. What they're going to let you do is take your original donation, or your pledge, or whatever you want to call your Kickstarter thingy, and add the difference up so you can get to the 50 wet stinky tier. And that will get you access to the private forums, the beta access, alpha, and you can come in and play with all the cool kids. They're having some issues with people who did not originally back the Kickstarter, but later, because, you know, if we go to survivethedistance.com, let me see here, you've always been able to pre-order for the beta, but you can't play the beta right now. And I can already see the hate mail coming in for next week. But Van, you always say when they put things on like this, they're running out of money. These guys are not running out of money. This game's basically baked. They just want to beta test it with more than 40 fuck-mothering people, I think.
And if they can make a quick buck, why not?
Why not? 100% happy about this. I know P-Man's just ready to jump off that balcony.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Back in my day, beta testing used to be free. And don't get me wrong, I would gladly throw the extra 40 wet stinky cashes at them, but I'll be needing to buy furniture soon, so no.
Well then.
There's your mistake. You don't sit on a ball.
Haha.
Fast furniture.
Will it blend? Or will it export games?
Might. If you're a Unity developer, a UDK developer, or you're working on Unreal 4, it will blend. What are we talking about? I'll tell you in a second once I find the damn tab. All right, there we go. Blender 271 supporting game developers. They have an FBX exporter, which allows you to export objects that you've created in Blender into your game engine of choice, Unreal, Unity, or UDK. And that's pretty cool. It's good that Blender is supporting the gaming community. I know Valve Gabe outreached his hand. He's like, "Come to me, my child. Come to my sweaty bosom." And
they did promise that sweet Blender integration, and we never kind of saw it.
So I think this might be the first sort of step towards that.
One thing I've noticed,
they have a big laundry list of stuff that doesn't work though. Then you
right?
That.
And everything with Unity, it's like collision meshes, kind of a big deal. Exporting whole levels with UDK, whole levels again with UE4, but they're working on it. These madmen are doing the work, and I think it's just going to be brilliant when you're able to do your entire tool chain for your game completely under Linux, and I hope that that's really going to become a real boy in the future. So, P-Man, you got something
Tell me about the rabbits, George.
Of gods and thieves. So, you may remember that we actually talked about this game when it first released its first demo a while back.
No, Pedro, I spent thousands of dollars in therapy trying to forget it. Thank you.
But yeah, now they've actually released a truly open beta for everyone to join, and you've got like 3 classes for guards and 3 classes for thieves, so it introduces new elements to the gameplay, and it is an isometric cops versus robbers type thing. Like the thieves have to go in and plant bombs or steal something, and the guards have to prevent it. Thieves can see in the dark, guards deal more damage. So it's actually pretty well balanced for a game that's in open beta. It's very well balanced, and not only do you have the typical cops versus robbers, you also have zombie mode, of course, and soccer mode to celebrate the World Cup for
you mean
this
hooligan
month.
mode.
Yeah, for this month, you can play the soccer mode for free. You don't have to pay anything. Speaking of paying, remains to be seen whether or not they'll keep the free-to-play option once the game is actually out. But in the meantime, if you actually want to throw money at them, you can go on to ofguardsandthieves.com/store and fund them through their very own Kickstarter repop thing.
Looks like there's pretty low requirements, but here's one thing I'm genuinely worried about. I got all the white people huddled together, but over here on the right, who's a zombie-looking dude? Oh,
green people need rights. Too.
I know, green rights. Man.
Yeah.
To help with purple people, though, unless they're suffocating, then help them. And of course, all the previous links are in our show notes. You should check them out at LinuxGameCast.com.
DRM-free copies of Metal Slug 3 for Mac and Linux have been pushed to download. Windows DRM-free coming soon. If you don't know what Metal Slug is, I had it on my original Neo Geo way back in the day, and it was awesome. And also, you've been living under a moon rock.
Yeah, because
here's the dice. You run around and you shoot pew pew pew. It's not hipster pixel art. It's back when hardware limitations were 24 fucking bit on the Neo Geo, and shit really looked like that. It's brilliant, brilliant backgrounds. Fired it up, played it, ran like a charm. Definitely SDL sauce in the controls, completely remappable, no issues with it. Something the DRM-free version does not have is online multiplayer. You can do local co-op.
yeah.
Online multiplayer is only available on the Steam version, which they have not mentioned that if it's ever going to get released. And here's the other thing. There's really no way to buy this unless you'd bought a humble.
It's a hundle.
And it was a part of Humble Bundle. I really couldn't be asked to look up which one it was, but apparently I bought it, so that kind of was a thing. Neat. Are you excited, J-Man?
Oh, I love me some Metal Slug, man. It's a good
Dig it.
shmup. Action game. It's good.
Yeah. It's a good game you just pick up, play,
So,
die,
I
and
mean,
you're
it's
like,
Metal
yeah,
Slug.
that's good enough. Put it down.
Do I actually have to say more?
Yeah.
But this is kind of cool. OpenXCom. You might have heard of them. We've talked about them maybe once or twice on the show. Has finally hit 1.0. They have a changelog too. But actually, what did they say on their sites? 5,224 commits, 1,843 days, and 606 issues resolved since 0.09. So they put quite a bit of work into this, and it's good that they finally hit 1.0. I downloaded the source from this, I gave this a compile, and then I realized I don't have any XCOM floppies. Oops. Oops. So this is an engine rewrite. You do need the original game files to run this game, but it's written in SDL, so it'll run on whatever freaking Moon device you have.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could probably pick up OpenXCom or XCOM at GOG or something like that and extract it.
Or go to your local video store.
Yes.
Yeah, they have a pretty significant changelog. This actually I had to unclick the clicky wheel on my mouse and go whoosh to get to the bottom of this.
So, I mean, that's great. I mean, we're seeing a bunch of old games like this, like Dune 2's. They have an open source engine for that, and
been Red Alert, yeah.
Yeah. So, this is brilliant sauce. It's open source, and you should make it your sauce. But that's going to do it for the news.
Coming up next, bonus! And back from the dead, it's Zomp Ponies! Secret of the Magic Crystals. The Race. This is DLC for the perfectly scored 4-chair game, Secret of the Magic Crystals, from ArteryStudios.com. Of course, it is designed using the best game engine on the face of the planet, Unity. It is graciously priced at $3.99 space bucks. I mean, the developers just are so kind to us, really. And this is a race multiplayer expansion to the original game, which allows you to race your unicorn with other people across the globe. Boys! And of course, with every chair acquisition comes the chair explanation. 1 chair means that it's crap, 2 chairs means that it's meh, 3 chairs means that it's pretty good, and 4 chairs means zombie ponies. And of course, we have our category Odoo mixed with the working shiny and sounds, controls, and fun. So Ven, did you bark rainbows?
Barfing rainbows might be a bit of an understatement for this business. I'm looking for the DLC.
Right there.
Right here. Where?
No.
Where it says the race.
Yeah. Just right there.
The place where it says
game.
downloadable content. Yeah, no, that you just keep clicking that link. That's the one that we need to go to. If you just keep going back and forth,
the internets are very hard.
I'm back at it again.
The internet. I don't know how to internet.
Anyways, then.
No, I'm trying to find some video. I'll sort that in a moment. No, we are talking about Makes with the Working, and if you're familiar with Secrets of the Magic Crystal, it is a brilliant game, and it is DLC, and you're wondering, why in the fuck mothering world would we bother with DLC? Well, it's not like we had an option. This practically installed itself. We didn't have to bother with it. It's brilliant, made with the working. Didn't have an option. Nothing more than 4 chairs when something does that.
I cannot disagree with that. I mean, you bought it, it shows up, it's like, oh, it's installed. So if you go to your DLC tab on the game profile, it's there. 4 chairs.
Yeah. If the original game worked, piece of DLC for it bloody well oughta. 4 chairs. Really can't complain about that one.
That's 4 chairs for Makes with the Working. Shiny and Sounds, Ven.
Shiny and Sounds, that's definitely a thing. Yes, in all fairness, on our minimum test box in Ubuntu, Dual 770 powered, it's a bit sluggish, but you know what, guys? And everyone listening, that's the fault of my 770s. They're simply unable to comprehend the majestic nature and awesomeness that this game wants to throw into your face organ. Really, sell your car, sell your house, and buy a pair of Titan Z's so you can really, experience the majesty of this game. So I'm going to have to give that 4 more chairs, because that's what it deserves.
After playing this game for 20 minutes, I blacked out, and when I came to, I was surrounded by a pile of rainbows, and I had a horn growing out of my head. That's how awesome this game looks and sounds.
Jordan's a pony!
I am a fucking huge ass pony. If you look in the show notes, I have under my little explanatory blurb, I have a unicorn barfing rainbows. I think that adequately describes what this game turns you into from its sheer visual machismo. 4 chairs. Pedro.
Well, it's ponies. I mean, it's more ponies on screen at the same time. Granted, my ears were left bleeding after the race because of the constant clip-clopping of pony hooves, but that's the price you have to pay. 4 chairs.
I'm sorry, I couldn't contain myself. That's 4 chairs for Shiny and Sounds. Control. Then, how did the game control?
The system automatically, I'm reading from the notes here, your braking and speed, and that is simply magical. All you have to do is steer left and right, and that is a good thing. Any more contact with such revolutionary control systems would simply melt your entire body organ. So I'm going to give that another 4 chairs.
I mean, with a control scheme like that, it's just so brilliantly simple. It's inspired because all you have to do is press left or right. It doesn't burden you down with like how fast do I need to go, if I want to break, if I want to even do anything else with the ponies. It's pure simplicity in its most concentrated form, left or right. I can't think of any more fitting controls for this game. Or any game, really. So, 4 chairs.
Well, it's like, imagine if you could play an Android game on your PC. This is what this game is. Everyone loves playing racing games on a tablet, right? Right, guys?
Mhm.
Or chairs.
Yeah. And finally, that tallies up to 4 chairs on the control section. And now our final subjective category, fun.
Fun. Zone gone. At the end of the day, take that shot. Secret of the Magic Crystals, the race, is a failed attempt at recapturing ZOMG ponies. Craze of the original, with controls worthy of the name, suggestion buttons, graphics that only a console peasant would love, and no ability to invite your mates online for some mockery. It's just a mishmash of randomness. When you get to that business, all I can say is a big meh. And at the end of the day, again, take that shot. Save your wet 3.99 wet stinky cashes unless you yourself have some ankle biters frolicking around your house. Well, this bit of ODLC business might grab their attention. To be fair, I guess I should say that. And allow for a few hours of them nodding off and playing that while you reflect on the horrible life decisions that have led up to this point. So, for the fun, 1 chair. J-Man?
Oh man, this game, dear Lord, I got into it and I'm like, how the hell do I get to the racing DLC? Because contrary to the previous review, I haven't actually played this game at all. I didn't actually own a copy until Ben sent me a copy of the DLC. I went to install it and it's like, oh, I guess I didn't buy that. Well, looks what. So I had to spend another $4.99 on that. But you actually have to go through the tutorial level to play the racing bit. It's overly simple. I mean, I had carpal tunnel jamming my left and right keys. The first time I played this game against other people, I got 3rd, despite being injured and not knowing what I'm doing. I didn't even figure out how to use my goddamn power-ups. This game is not very challenging. After about 20 minutes, I just had to put this down. I'm done. I'm gonna go eat a bunch of fatty food to kill myself rather than play this game. So, 1 chair.
Well, it does have one redeeming point to it. It gives you a pony to start with. You don't have to grind for that, so I guess that's good. Okay, the original game, it had some charm to it, maybe? I don't know.
Press all the arrow keys.
The DLC, granted, it actually allows you to actually press left and right and pretend like you're racing other people. But that's not enough. If you're going to call it a race, let it actually make a race. And one other thing. Since when do jumps make horses go faster? Because I'm pretty sure physics don't work like that. If Skyrim has taught me anything... Are you
seriously arguing about a game that has fuck-mothering unicorns in it? About physics?
Yeah. And you're comparing it to Skyrim, where your horse can solo a dragon.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If Skyrim has taught me anything, is that horses don't give a shit about physics. But even in Skyrim, if you jumped, your horse would actually go slower as soon as it landed. In this game, as soon as you land,
if it wasn't busy sticking to a mountain.
Yeah.
So, for me, I'm sorry. 1 chair.
All right, and that's one chair for fun. And if we tally that all up, I wonder if Ven's actually prepared that. Our final score is.
We're gonna say 2 with an asterisk.
Yeah, we're gonna say 2 an asterisk. I put a rainbow fart or a unicorn farting rainbows in the final, but I guess Ven didn't really get that image down, which makes me.
I guess for the final thoughts, what I'm gonna say, I mean, all joking aside, I kind of feel like they developed this game to learn the Unity engine. They wanted to make a game for one of the developers' 2-year-old daughter that she might want to play when she was a bit older. I get that, but then it kind of blew up and it became its own little thing. Half of me feels that, yeah, maybe they're trying to recapture some of those OMG ponies that was the fad at the time, adjust your onion on your belt. And the other half of me is like, if you do have those little ankle biters and you've made some poor life decisions that require you to spend money on little people as opposed to games and like bitching turbocharged cars and Titans, this is cheap and it will probably occupy the little cretins in a very safe way for a few hours at a time. I mean, it's so simple that Pedro can play it. Final thoughts, girlfriend?
It would be a lot better if it was on Android. It would be justifiable, at least. Not having an accelerate button in a racing... The DLC is called the race. Let me, control the speed of my horse so I can, de-accelerate when I hit a curve.
It's made for 2-year-olds.
It's made for pony racers.
And furries.
When I started playing games, I was like 3 or 4. The racing games had an accelerate button. This was the 80s, motherfucker. It's 2014 now.
We get it. I would say, unless you're a major unicorn racist, I would avoid this at all costs. Unless, of course, you like being a unicorn who farts rainbows. Coming up next, your hate mail live on air.
And now that we've put our pony hatred away, we get into some hate mail. And just as a quick reminder, if you'd like to get in touch with us, make sure to go on over to LinuxGameCast.com, click on that lovely contact button on the nav bar there, fill out your name on the form, fill out your email, the subject, give us your message, prove you're perhaps smarter than a bot, and we'll be happy to feature your thing in this very segment. Unless, of course, you're trying to promote some sort of crowdfunding campaign. In that case, if you don't provide us with a working demo prototype, whatchamacallit, we will not talk about your thing, and we will make fun of you.
Actually, I'm thinking about creating a wall of shame for them.
Yeah.
Feature them on the sites. We do not accept checks from...
Up first is actually directed towards P-Man from... I'm not trying that crit, we're calling him.
Medicrit.
Yes, Pedro. Whatever that moon word is an English
Reticence.
word. Too bad you North American co-hosts don't speak their native tongue.
Here's the thing, Medi. Ven's German. Him I could excuse about not knowing the reticence. But Jordan, on the other hand, and he was perhaps the most vocal one.
You said it kind of
then.
weirdly, and it didn't click in my brain until afterwards.
I mean,
So
there's never been an
Jordan's
example of you saying a word weirdly that you were misenunciating.
Yeah.
I
And
said
the-
reticence.
And I am a flawless human being. I make 0 mistakes.
Yes,
I
you
have
do.
complete
Because
and
you're
utter
kind of a
mastery
grammar
of the
Nazi.
English language.
You
is
sound
kind of
so entitled.
I really do, and that's
kind of
because
the
I
grammar
don't accept
Nazi,
line
which is ironic
wrappers
since
for my
he's a
Linux
Jew.
ports.
But
Whatever,
Jordan's
I screwed
actually
up. Big
the
deal.
native English speaker. So from him, I would expect perhaps that he knew that I was talking about reticence, even though I said it rather reticently, and that one I made up. So take a shot. So yeah, that I could excuse. Jordan,
You need to learn how to speak English better with like proper pronunciation and not like say
I need
say
to
words in
learn a
weird
lot
ways
of
that make
things
me
better.
question whether they're
English
words
is
or
just
not.
one of them.
Mhm.
Tell that to
Anyways,
Nori.
coming up next, Rook or R00K13.
If that is his real name.
Real name has something regarding our spat Linux review. Funny how Ben Stone is criticizing the narrator's voice when he has the most annoying movie trailer voiceover guy wannabe voice I've ever heard. Or was it on purpose just for this review? Anyway, I quite like the game. Short but sweet. Always something different is quite refreshing. I don't know how many times we have to go over this over the course of the show.
I got something.
But you
I
have
got
to,
something.
Wait, Ben. Let Jordan finish.
Really, you think this is like a movie announcer voice, and I did at first too. But then after like knowing this guy for a while, you realize this is just how this guy talks, and it's
All
really
the
annoying
time.
because everything he says has this really false gravitas to it that makes him sound like he's correct, even though he probably isn't. So I'm gonna let Ben go on with this thing. Go, do it.
You're right about that, because you're my friend. Also, I do have the most annoying voice in the world. No, but seriously, every time I read annoyed, I genuinely think that you're annoyed because the sound of my voice made your naughty bits tingle.
It's like if Jeremy Clarkson had a baby with Dr. Frankenfurter.
It's brilliant. And you know what? We don't judge on LGC Weekly, bro. I mean, that's cool. Another man's voice can turn you on just a little bit. So, can I ask you a question, baby?
Yeah,
You know, the only thing really I have to say about this guy, whomever he is, you liked Spate. You claim that it is different, short and sweet.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Busted. Yeah, that's different
So,
from.
you get to play Flappy
Bird
Trunk.
sections, Flappy Bird sections, wibbly wobbly camera filters that make my head hurt, and just outright ripping off Limbo. How is that different?
Well, everything aside, when I first read this was a review that we posted on Steam. It's all about the voice, and it's no mention that we were technically incorrect at any point during the review.
Nope.
Well, I guess that's enough of
This
racist unicorns. So let's cue that music and tell people where they can find us the rest of the week. You can always find us at LinuxGameCast.com. Check out Chat Static. That's where we are the other 6 days a week. And also, thank you, zombie hordes of the demon internet. The trollest of trolls. You are here in Chat Realm Dynamic watching us live. You should watch us live. We do this train wreck around 9:30 Eastern Moon Time, or whenever we get around to it, basically.
We're a lot more entertaining off camera. I'll just say that much.
I'm Vinstone. You can find me at Vinstone on the Twitter nets, plus Vinstone on the G pluses. Clippity clop.
Cloppity clippity clop. I am Jordan Svung. You can find me at the Burning Fool on Twitter, or plus Jordan Svung on the Google Plus. And
I am Pedro Mateus. You can find me at Unaccounted For on Twitter, or plus Pedro Mateus on Google Plus.
So yes, at the end of the day, we can all just be like little magical unicorns with their fingers poking out of our head. Yeah. Nay means no.
With her
Yours is
finger
bigger.
and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead.
That's a song,
What?
wasn't it?
yeah, the Smash
Mouth. Right.
Smash Mouth, yeah.
Good Lord, Pedro, you're such a loser.